Have you ever been in that spot where you've got two private networks up in the cloud and you need them to talk to each other securely without ever exposing them to the public internet? Well, that's exactly what AWS VPC peering is for. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on this super powerful tool and turn what sounds like a complex concept into a real, practical skill you can use. So, what is VPC peering really? Honestly, the best way to picture it is to think of it like building a private, secure bridge between two separate digital islands, right? Your VPCs are these isolated islands, your own little private networks in the cloud. This peering connection is the bridge that lets them talk directly, securely, and completely privately. No public internet involved. But that's the real question, isn't it? It's one thing to get the concept, but it's a whole other thing to actually build it. So for this explainer, we're going on a little quest. We're going to connect two VPCs in totally different parts of the world, one in Ireland and one in Frankfurt, following the exact steps from our source material. So our mission, should we choose to accept it, is pretty clear. We've got two totally isolated networks in different regions, and we need to forge a private link between them. The end goal, make the servers in each VPC talk to each other like they're sitting in the very same room. Okay, before we can even think about building the bridge, we need solid ground on either side. So we'll start over in Ireland. We've got 4 key steps here. First, create our private network space, then define an address range for it, launch a server right into that space, and finally, slap on a basic firewall. This gets our first island totally prepped and ready for connection. Now, here's a little real-world catch-22 for you. The whole point is to have a private connection, right? But how do you even log into your server for the very first time to set it up? Well, the source material points out a crucial step. You need a temporary backdoor to the internet, something called an internet gateway, just so you can RDP in and get everything configured. All right, with our foundation firmly in place, it is time for the main event, actually creating that peering connection. And this isn't something you can just force. It's more like a digital handshake. It requires a clear request from one side and a definite agreement from the other. The whole process is this formal 2-step deal. From our VPC in Ireland, we kick things off by sending a request. We have to be specific, targeting the Frankfurt region, its VPC ID, and even the account ID. Then, over in Frankfurt, the owner of that VPC sees our request pop up. They have to look it over and then explicitly click Accept to make the connection go live. And you can actually watch this happen. As soon as you send the request from Ireland, the connection status flips to pending acceptance, and it'll just sit there. It waits until someone on the other end accepts the handshake. Only then does the status finally change to active. So yeah, it's definitely not instant. Okay, so the status says active. We're done, right? The servers can start catting? Not quite. And this right here is a super critical step that trips up so many people. The source really hammers this home. Even though the connection, the bridge, physically exists, the VPCs have absolutely no idea how to actually use it. The bridge is built, but we haven't put up any road signs. And that brings us to what is arguably the most crucial part of this entire setup. We now have to literally draw the map for our network traffic. We have to tell each VPC, hey, to find that other network, you need to go across this bridge we just built. And we do all of this by configuring what are called route tables. This is where we give our networks those road signs. It's a two-way street. In the Ireland route table, you add a rule that says, hey, if you need to reach any of Frankfurt's private IPs, send that traffic over the peering connection. Then you do the exact same thing, the mirror image, over in Frankfurt. You're basically telling them to find each other, use this bridge. And here's a really important rule to remember. Peering is not transitive. It is a direct point-to-point connection, and that's it. So, what does that mean? Well, if you have a third VPC that's peered only with Frankfurt, your island VPC can't just hop through Frankfurt to get to it. The road signs we built only point directly between our two islands and nowhere else. All right, the bridge is built, the maps are drawn, the road signs are all up. It is time for the moment of truth. Let's run our final test to see if this digital bridge of ours actually works. And let's prepare ourselves for a little twist. So here we go. We log into our server in Ireland. We pop open the command prompt. We're ready to send a ping, that simple little network test, to the private IP address of our server all the way over in Frankfurt. The big question is it going to work? And failure. The request just times out. Nothing. After all that work, creating the VPCs, setting up the connection, carefully drawing out those routes, we get absolutely nothing back.
And let me tell you, this is such a classic real-world moment of, what went wrong? And here it is. Here's the twist. The problem had nothing to do with our AWS network configuration. It was the firewall inside the operating system itself. By default, Windows Firewall just blocks incoming ping requests. So our network bridge was perfect, the road signs were correct, but the front door of the house on the other side was locked.
So the solution, at least for this connectivity test, is pretty simple. The source material guides us to just temporarily disable the Windows Firewall on both of our servers. This gets that OS level block out of the way so we can actually test the network path that we worked so hard to build.
With those firewalls temporarily down, we try it again. We run the ping, and this time, success. We get replies. We can ping from Ireland to Frankfurt's private IP, and we can ping from Frankfurt back to Ireland. This is the confirmation we needed. Our peering connection is solid, and our routes are working perfectly. The bridge is officially open for business.
So, we did it. We successfully built one digital bridge between two regions. But let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture here. Why is learning this one skill so incredibly important for anyone doing cloud architecture today?
Well, it's because this is about so much more than just connecting two VPCs. The principles we just used, establishing secure, private pathways and carefully configuring routes, those are universal. This is the bedrock for building hybrid clouds, creating secure multi-account setups, and sharing critical services privately across your organization. Mastering this one skill unlocks almost any serious cloud design.
Look, what we've built here today is more than just a connection between two servers. It's a fundamental skill, a building block for creating powerful, secure, and robust systems in the cloud. So the real question isn't just how you build the bridge anymore. It's, now that you can, where are you going to connect to next?